All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're catching this broadcast. I want to welcome you to today's Enlightenment broadcast here on Facebook. And I'm just excited this morning because life is a cycle. It really is. And I want to welcome you today. My name is Jay Moore, your healthy accountant. And as we jump into today's broadcast, the title being The Life Cycle of a Product. The life cycle of a product. And I've got a sad story to start with. And a friend of mine that I went to school with, graduated high school together. I learned of her passing yesterday. She passed a couple of days ago, and I knew that she had been sick. I haven't seen her in a while. Facebook is good because you can find out about people, but I knew she was sick. And it looked like she may have had maybe some respiratory problems because I know that she had to use it. She always had oxygen, looked like, attached to her nose. But I don't know what was the problem. But she passed. And I'm assuming that there were some complications from whatever that was. So I'm assuming it could have been heart failure. At the end of the day, I don't know. I have no idea. And I'm sure I'll find out soon because there's going to be a funeral, memorial service for her that I'll attend. But as we think about the cycle of a product, I want to think about a life and how a life has an intention. And so there are a couple of texts that I want to highlight. And so the first text is Proverbs. No, not Proverbs. I'm going to do Proverbs second. The first text is Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you to prosper you, not to hurt you, not to harm you, um, to give you a life, to give you this good life is what Jeremiah 29:11 is saying. And also in Jeremiah 29:11, in verse 12, it talks about how you will come to him. You will come to him and you will pray. You will bring all that you are to him. And so as we're thinking about the cycle of a product, I want to think about the cycle of a life. And so in that promise, it says that I'm not going to harm you. I know the plans. I'm going to help you. I'm going to, help you to have a successful life, no matter what, even if it's unto death. See, the cycle of a product and the cycle of a life are similar because everything has been created for a specific purpose. It's for a specific intention. My friend who passed away, her purpose had ended at 47, 48. Purpose ended. But let's think. I mean, now I don't know what big work she had to do. I don't know what impact she had to make. I don't know what things she was supposed to do. I don't have any clue. But what I know is her purpose, her cycle of life had ended. No matter what it was, even if it seems painful that she's gone. I was talking to my niece early, I think no, it was actually on Saturday last week. I think it was Saturday night. Um, or Sunday, and we were talking, and I was just, and so I was saying how I was like, man, I don't know, we don't know when the world's going to end, as as religious people, right? It's going to end soon. It's been ending soon for over 2,000 years. So I don't, not that I'm getting complacent, but I can't worry about when it's going to end. See, I don't know when my life is going to end. I've got 47 years in. 47. I might only have a day. I may only have a year. I don't know. See, I don't know when that purpose is going to end. My mentor, who is not living, his name is Miles Monroe. He became my mentor just recently, but he was dead. Imagine if you could mentor someone when you are dead, when you have gone on. And I found a mentor that is dead, but his life will live in me. And when you think about the life cycle of a product, how can a product live on forever? Then I'm bringing you to this next text. In Proverbs 19:21, it says, many are the plans of a man. Many are the plans of a man, but the Lord's purpose prevails. But the Lord's purpose prevails in the end. So my mentor, Mr. Miles Monroe, who's no longer here, the purpose of his life was not his. The purpose was God's. And God is like, hey, you're gone, but I'm still using your life. The life cycle of a product that can live on throughout eternity. See, here's what's interesting. Here's what's interesting about time. Time does not affect eternity. There is no time in eternity. Where God lives, it's in eternity. But where we live inside of time. He had to build something for us that would help us, so that if we sinned, think about this, if we sinned, there was a way to redeem us. His intention from the very beginning was so powerful, because he had to put us in a time. He says, look, I can't put them in eternity, because if I put them in eternity to start and something goes wrong, it's kind of like the fail-safe button. You know what? We're going to make sure that we can change this if something happens. If you can check out all sorts of movies where the designer of some bomb, or the designer of something that that person, they are creating something, and they say, you know what, just in case something happens, we want to have a button over here that we can press, because if everything fails, then we've got the button over here. We can press this button and everything will go right. Think about this. I was watching the movie with The Rock, The Tower. If you've seen this movie, The Tower, the thing about this movie is that it was like they could not stop the fire. But here's the thing. You could. All you had to do was get a hold of the system. If you could get the system, if you can reset the system, if you can turn the button, if you can press the switch, then you could change everything that was happening. They were trying to burn this building down. And it was, it was because of money, whatever. If you saw it, you understand the plot. But at the end, what happened? There was something that could be done. There was a reset button. Once his wife got a hold of the tablet that had the system, then she could reset the whole system to now bring back how it was supposed to operate, which was how it would turn on the sprinkler system and then put out the fire. See, the life cycle of a product, you've got to have a fail safe, that if something happens, it doesn't matter. Like my mentor, Dr. Miles Monroe, who passed on, God said, well, even though he's dead, like Jay's going to find him and he's going to be dead, but it doesn't matter, because Jay's going to be able to read all his books, and Jay's going to be able to look at all these talks that he did that would help Jay, but the product of Miles will continue to live on. Physically, he's gone, but his product, what God created in him, continues to live over and over. And so when you think about the life cycle of a product, the question is this, and I asked this question last night. I said, well, I didn't even ask. I said, do you know that there's so much resources in the grave, like at the cemetery? How many books weren't written? How many business weren't started? How many inspirational speakers did not come about? How many people did not create or design products that could help mankind? How many people did not build schools, and how many people did not change their own family? All the resources that's down at the cemetery those products are dead. Those products were not used the way the creator or the manufacturer wanted them to be used. And I can guarantee you that it says many are the plans in the heart of man, which is found in Proverbs 19:21. It says, but the Lord's purposes prevail in the end. But here's the thing. If the original intention for your life is never achieved or never attained, then you will go to the ground with the purpose inside. So if you're thinking about the life cycle of a product, right? What if what if you bought a brand new car, right? And I'm talking, this car is beautiful, right? I'm talking about maybe you just got the car of your dreams. It could be a Bentley. It could be a Porsche. It could be, maybe you want an Escalade, or maybe you want, if you were like me, you want something fast, Corvette, or maybe you want this car, right? And so you go buy it. You have the resources, or you had the credit, and you go buy this car. And you're like, man, this is the best car, right? And so you get the car and you park it in your garage. And I'm talking, this car is beautiful. This car can drive. I remember a few years ago, back in 2006, I bought a car, the Chrysler 300 SRT8, 425 horsepower. I'm talking about, this car was fast. This car had power. And every time every time I was on the highway, I just wanted to drive. I'm talking about, I had so much space on, whenever I was pressing the gas, and it would just be like, whoosh, whoosh, and I could drive. I remember driving by myself to and from Atlanta, to and from Huntsville, Alabama, by myself in this car, because it was a joy to drive. It was meant to drive. But imagine, you got your perfect car. You got this car that you dreamt of. You were just like, this was on my list of all of the things that I want to have before I die. And you get it. But you're not dead. You get it. And so you said, you know what, I'm going to keep my old car too, right? And I'm going to drive my old car every day. Like, so you're driving an old car, you don't really drive the new car. You don't really drive this car that you really wanted. You don't drive it at all, right? Maybe you drive it, a couple of times a year. In the summertime, you may drive a little bit, but you know what? You don't want to get it dirty. So you're trying to keep it in the garage most of the time, and you're not really driving the car. And so, maybe you get sick, or, something. And so the car's just sitting in the garage, and the car's just collecting dust. And then one day someone goes to the car and they try to turn it on. The car's not starting. Like, well, this is a new car. It doesn't have that many miles on it, but it's not starting. Why won't the car start? Well, the battery's dead. Right? The battery's dead. But maybe if it sat too long, because this can happen. If you sit a car outside and let it sit for years, it'll die. That product that was created to drive, it was not created to sit in the driveway. That product was created to drive, especially if it's a fast car. It was created to drive fast, but it wasn't driven fast. Here it is. This perfect product is dead. Just like people are dead. People are dead. They are not living up to the purpose that they were created for. For I know the plans I have for you, to prosper you, to bring you hope, to give you a life, is what he said. I know the plans. I'm going to do it. I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you to achieve things that you don't even know that you can achieve. But what if you never actually look for the purpose? What will happen to your life? That's an interesting question, because what happens is this. Most people will live their life never to ask the question. And if they ask the question and they get an answer, they may doubt. They may say, you know what? I don't think I can do that. We talked about doubt last night, and how I talked about doubt yesterday on my broadcast. If you didn't catch that, you should catch the doubt how I said doubt could actually fuel your life if you understand how to use doubt. Doubt is an indication that you should do it. Doubt is not an indication that you should not do it. Doubt is an indication that you should step up. And you know what? Because I don't know that I actually can, I'm gonna actually put forth an effort to do it, which that's now activating your faith. That's putting you in a position of faith. And God, oh, God loves faith, man. God is saying, He says, man, look, all you have to do is take one step, I'll take two. Just take one, take another one. See, the life cycle of a product, which is a life, has an intention. And that intention is not what you think it is most of the time. You know, just because you decide a career doesn't mean that was what the intention was. See, when I chose to be an accountant, I thought that's who I was. You know, hey, what do you do? I'm an accountant. So, you know, and so that becomes what I talk about. That's it. Well, that's not what He created me for. He didn't create me for the career of accounting. Now, here's how awesome He is. He did want me to have that skill. He wanted me to have that skill because He says I can use that skill, not for the sake of the actual accounting part, where, you know, you do that as a career, but to understand that you should account for your life. You should account for how you think. You should account for, you know, your spiritual life. You should account for your physical health and you should account for how you eat. You should account for your finances, and you should account for your relationships. He says, I want Jay to account for those. I want Jay to start accounting his life. See where he's deficient in his life and realize that he must come to me. Ooh, I was deficient. I was negative in some areas. And I thought I was doing well, but here it is, I'm negative in my spiritual life. I was negative in my health at one point, negative in my finances, negative in my relationship, you know, with my family. I was negative in how I thought. I was negative in how I was producing physically in my body. Wow, look at that. Now you must account. Oh, you're negative. Oh, you're not quite adding up. So how do you do that? How do you go from being negative to all of a sudden you're creating the abundance? You are multiplying. You are being fruitful in all those areas. Wow, how does that happen? It doesn't happen because it's me. I'm still the negative, but I had to go get the one that's positive. I had to download all of that wealth of understanding, all of that wisdom that only he can give. And I had to allow that to fuel my life so that the life cycle of me being this product, whenever my life is over, whenever the intention or the purpose has ended, it will be His will that my life will continue on. It won't continue on physically. I'm not going to be no spirit walking around here talking about, oh, I can hear Jay talking to me. No, you're not. You might hear Jay on a video. You might see Jay speaking in churches and speaking on stages. You may be able to see all that information. You may read the books that Jay may have written. And then you'll say that, man, Jay is still here because he left all of what he was able to do, he left it behind. So here it is. What if the product or that cycle now of that product could live on throughout eternity? Now, here's the thing. Yes, eternity is coming. At some point, we will be shifted from this time world into the eternity world. And when we get to the eternity world, then yes, we will have physical bodies that live in eternity. But until then, if we're in time, then our job as manufactured products, you are a manufactured product. You need to find out the intention of what the manufacturer was thinking when you were created. Find out the intention. Find out, okay, why was it that you wanted me to be here? You wanted me to be here for something. So what was it? Show me. Start there. See, when you find out what you're supposed to do on this earth, see, what you could be finding out is how to live throughout eternity. Before you get to eternity, you won't have to wait for Jesus to come back. You know, if you're a Christian, you won't have to wait for that. You could right now expand his kingdom today and start living the way that you're supposed to live so that you can produce what he wants you to produce. Then your life cycle, you being that product, you will have an opportunity. You will have an opportunity to leave something behind, because at some point, maybe we all may have to die. But you have to have a reason. You have to have a reason that it would be okay that you could die. And I know that my work isn't done. So because my work isn't done, I got to move faster. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that you had a chance to watch this video today. And I want to thank you for joining me. You are an awesome person. You were created for something that I'm talking about, for something that's big. And I'm going to tell you, it's so big that it may even scare you. It may even create doubt in you, which is okay. Doubt will fuel your life if you just understand that that's only faith trying to be activated. So look, I want you to find out what the manufacturer intended when he created you, so that as you build your life and you build out his product, which is his product, when it's all said and done, we can come back and really learn and see your life and be able to say that you are living on in the lives of other people. That's my hope for you today. That's our challenge, and that is what I know we are all supposed to do. So I want to bless you today. And I want to just let you know that you are awesome and amazing. So I want to thank you so much. I'm Jay Moore. I'm your healthy accountant. I help you to account for your life. Right now, it's all about finding out who you are, why you were created. And look, if you find that out, your life will change. All right. So God bless you. I'll see you back here the next time we do a broadcast. God bless you. Take care.